Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. Today, another unboxing, but actually, come to think of it, I don't do that many these days because I'm trying to save for my Grail watches and not buy every single watch I want, which is very difficult. I'm sure you can appreciate that. However, I'll do a quick wristwatch check. It is the Fortis Cosmonaut because today it's a Fortis giveaway and an unboxing of a watch actually I reviewed last year. But this time they've come out with a new color scheme. So I'm going to do a more concise kind of mini review within this unboxing. And it is, of course, my Cosmonaut. This is my vintage piece. And it's on a Wrist Candy Watch Club, a new strap from them. I haven't tried it before, but I'm still kind of accumulating my thoughts and initial impressions. But it's a seatbelt style, and I think it matches the watch pretty cool. It's a different material in a kind of semi-gloss. I'll leave a link to that as well in the description, by the way. So you guys know Fortis is a brand very close to my heart. I visited their factory in Switzerland. I went to see their Mustang racing team at the Reno Air Show, which was amazing. And I shared these fantastic experiences on the channel. Today, they are teaming up with us for a giveaway. And I'll tell you just how to enter that in just a moment, so stay tuned. But before we get to that, I'm also going to share some new travel gear. I'm contemplating upgrading because I'm going to have a trip, or going to be going on a trip rather, sorry, forgive my bad English, to Italy for work. And this is a project that's been, I've been planning for a very long time outside of YouTube. So I need some new travel gear, so more on that in just a moment. But of course, before all of that good stuff, let's get to the actual unboxing. We'll do a quick knife check first. The Leaky is back. Old Leaky, The Leak by Kershaw, designed by Ken Onion, of course. And as you can probably tell from the background, this space-themed, well, this is a very space-themed company. Well, you already know what it is because of the title of the video. But anyway, let's make the first incision. Two watches, two boxes. Drum roll, please. There's one. Okay, this is on the strap. Oh, I see that blue already. It's quite iridescent. Let's unwrap it. Oh wow, look at that. It's a deep, quite a rich, deep blue. I forget it's got the screw-down crown. I'm quite excited about this. It's a presidential blue, not a navy blue. It's even darker. Look at that. Is there a slight... Let's try and zoom in a bit. I think a vertical brushed finish. Look at that. Yeah, it's a presidential blue, almost a midnight blue. And look how the orange really pops. So this is the F-41. Let's just zoom out again. So this is the larger one. That's going to be, actually that fits pretty well. Long lugs, but that's part of their design. Yeah, there we go. The 39. God, it's such a subtle blue. Wow. I have previously reviewed these, of course, so I know these well, but oh, look at that strap. Very substantial. Jeez, look how thick it is. But quite supple. Thick but supple. Gets the job done. Signed buckle, of course. That's very handsome. It's almost black, but then in certain angles it just pops. It's just a little subtle pop of color. Again, midnight blue. Let's just bring the other one back. Let's see the size difference. It's amazing what 2mm does, right? Very cool. Anyway, let's take it back to the studio. Let's wear these. Let's get to know them and talk a little bit more about them. So a quick summary of this new generation of Fliegers, if you missed my previous episodes. By now we are all familiar with Fortis, one of the greatest Swiss tool watch manufacturers, famed for their extremely illustrious past of officially making watches for space agencies, the very first automatic watches with British horologist John Harwood in the 1920s, and of course timepieces for countless elite squadrons of military pilots around the world. This rejuvenated collection not only represents a new era for the brand, but also of independent ownership, and every single component has been meticulously nuanced and redesigned from the ground up. So let's take a look at exactly what I mean. So we have the satisfyingly solid, ratcheted 24-click bidirectional 12-hour bezel for a second time zone. Also, the three-dimensional new patented Brix track luminescence for greater low-light visibility at any angle, and super clean high-contrast colors with their signature highly legible burlap fleur neon orange. I especially adore their trademark synchro line between the 11 and 1 marker, which assists in giving a greater precision with a plus or minus 5-second indication to synchronizing the watch. What is very unique and reminds me a little bit of my Breitling vintage chronospace is the way the bezel gives the face of the watch a dish-like concave shape. This is very deliberate indeed and increases the surface area of the coin edge for superior ergonomics. The raised hash marks and hour markers at the edge of the dial are higher than the sunken midsection to position them closer to the hands they are corresponding with. The hour hand, of course, sitting lowest, and thus logically works better with the hour numerals. Everything here follows a very practical reason that makes this a very concise and no-nonsense tool watch. The big screw-down crown gives this pilot watch the water resistance of a diver at an impressive 200 meters. Fortis were the first to start doing this with their aviation watches as far back as the 1990s. It was common for astronauts to train in water to simulate the conditions of being without gravity before going into space, a ruggedness that translates wonderfully into a modern watch. So what are the differences, aside from this addition of new very particular blue on the dial? Well, it's very, very slight. For the most part, we still have the same materials, the sapphire glass with anti-reflective coating on the inside and outside, and of course stainless steel. Actually, there's a difference there, I'll go into that in just a moment, but of course the same movement. But this time, the perfectly brushed steel is made from a sustainable recycled steel, and the strap is an off-greyish leather called the Indigo Aviator Strap, to complement the new color scheme. It is also made from sustainable resources, though it is extremely substantial, beautifully constructed, and of course handmade in Germany. The Brix track Superluminova X1 this time is in a crisp cocaine white and not the mint green of before. So let's discuss a little bit about the negatives and a few observations of particular things I would like to have changed. The oversized lugs will alienate some, and it definitely wears much larger as a result. However, again, we see the function dictating the design, as these exaggerated eagle head lugs are deliberately big to house those screwed-in spring bars, a massively more robust alternative to the conventional and dated spring bars we typically see. Another critique is, and as always, value. At around the £2,000 mark, the overly self-entitled armchair watchmakers who have never set foot in a factory in Switzerland or even seen the extensive testing that goes into making a watch of this extreme high-end quality will forever whine and complain. Oh, you could buy this for that much, or that, or whatever. The reality is it simply costs that much to make a watch of this level, and of course, like anything in life, the brand has a right to make some profit. So while the Celita-based movement inside is certainly nothing to write home about, it is very affordable to maintain, it's a rock-solid movement. It is a shame they didn't go for a version of the Work 13 movement they're using in their GMT with that full balance bridge, the 70 hours power reserve, all the rest of it, and of course COSC certification, but that would have bumped up the price probably to double. And I'm not sure if most people are going to be willing to pay $4,000 for just a time and date only Flieger from Fortis. I would, because I love the brand. But in terms of accuracy, I'm getting, you know, a few seconds deviation at maximum. Another minor complaint from me is I never like it when straps do not taper, and this makes the buckle comically too big in comparison to the overall scale of the watch. But I do appreciate that the strap has been kept shorter on the F-39 with less overhang for the smaller wristed, such as myself and my 6.5-inch wrist. I still think the date placement with the lucky 13 numeral and the date wheel should have been placed at the 6 o'clock and not the 3 to further enhance the balance and symmetry. But maybe that is just me. What do you guys think? I also would have slightly preferred a wider sword hand for the hours to further differentiate them from the minutes. But this really is me being super fussy at this point. Okay, one final bone of contention. I noticed that the lug width was the same on both the 41 and the 39. I think it would have made more sense to have 20 on the 39. Okay, nobody likes 21 millimeters, odd numbers. I certainly don't have that many straps in that size. But I think it would have been proportional to the 39 had it been 20 millimeters. Not the end of the world. So here we are. Now, of course, this box is absolutely massive. We cannot fit it in the light box, so we're going to do it on the coffee table here. It could be the start of a new segment. Coffee table unboxings, I don't know. But anyway, let's get into it. You guys may have seen this particular case in my New York travel. It was a vlog, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a vlog. Carl Friedrik have generously lent me this. This is the Pro version. So we got the carry-on and we got the carry-on Pro. It's pretty much the same. The only difference is, you know, we've still got the same bit at the back with the USB charger, all the rest of it that I showed in that video. They've added this zip section at the front. Now, they've lent this to me. Oh my God, look at that. Oh, look how it comes down. Isn't that slick? So, wow, look at all these pockets. So obviously you can put your laptop in here. Look at that. Oh, and you can unbutton it. Can you unbutton it? Yeah. Look at that. Now you can really see in there. That is a nifty bit of design. I'm guessing the insides are going to be the same. You've got the TSA locks there. Let's have a look inside. Yeah, the insides are the same. You can still get the packing cubes. So obviously it does come in different colors. Naturally, you probably guessed how I dress. I'd go for black. That's why I went for black on mine. They've lent in the brown. I'm not a fan of the brown, but of course, you know, if you're buying one of these, you can decide for yourself, and it corresponds with the handle. I do like that they add their little bit of vaquette leather because, of course, they're bag makers. That's what they're famous for. So a real nice little touch. Stay tuned. I'm gonna check it out, and thank you very much to Carl Friedrik for lending it in. Cool. The original black dial and its variations with added complications was undoubtedly the best and most important watches released in 2020. So how does this one compare? When I heard through the grapevine that a blue version of the 39 and 41 were about to be released, without seeing them first in the flesh, I was concerned it was going to be a departure from its strictly utilitarian purity, as it's an unnecessary attempt really to pretty up a watch that doesn't need to be pretty. But alas, this is the most dark blue I have ever seen. It does not diminish or detract from the core purpose of ultimately being about form and function. It serves to simply give a pleasingly little bit of pizzazz to an absolute capo lavoro of unpretentious design. The vertical brushing of this thematically fitting midnight blue at different angles can sometimes seem black, but also in differing light gives the impression of falling rain. I'm also hoping to see blue variations of the chronograph and GMT. I think they would be amazing too. So while this new version isn't exactly reinventing the wheel or as momentously important as last year's, the first version last year of course, it is, I think, a much needed little bit of extra pizzazz and adds a bit of character to quite a clinical watch. I mean, completely unnecessary, of course, but it's these charming little additions that can really elevate a watch. And I actually think it's a more complete watch because of it. And I still think at the end of the day, Fortis is that true enthusiast's watch. All the reasons why I love my Fortis, of course. The aim of these watches was to create tough and focused timepieces at the highest levels of quality for everyday use. They have clearly succeeded. The new Fortis Fliegers are a perfect confluence of tradition with its typical Flieger characteristics like the Type A dial for supreme orientation with the arrow and dots at the 12, but at the same time modernized into something refreshingly contemporary and I genuinely think futuristic. That in itself is tough to pull off, especially in an increasingly saturated watch world. In my full review, I commented that it would feel right at home on the wrist of a character from The Expanse, for example, or most sci-fi films, for that matter. This is for pilots of the future in spaceships as much as it is for airplanes. There we have it, absolute pure class. And it's left me in a bit of a difficult spot because you guys know I have the heavy hitter, this extremely rare vintage official cosmonaut's chronograph. And I think it might complement my collection to have a modern Fortis, you know? I don't know, but of course I don't need this at all. But it's calling my name. I don't know. What do you guys think? Please add your thoughts in the comments. But of course, let's get to the giveaway. There is a link in the description. It's very easy. Just follow the instructions. It's all there for you. And good luck to all of you. A massive thank you to Fortis for, of course, so generously collaborating on this giveaway. And that's about it. I will catch you in the next one. Oh, and don't forget to like this video. Thank you very, very much for watching. And I'll see you next time. Okay, ciao.